As a former 50k per month closer, I understand the dedication and characteristics required to achieve peak performance as a sales rep. Let's discuss the mindset needed for success. When I looked around the sales world and looked at the top performers, I realized it rarely mattered the framework being used and the actual training people had went through, but instead the person each and every top performer were/are. And nobody talks about this. They talk only about the word tracks and scripts, but I sat down and looked around and thought, what is the common ground amongst these successful people? And it all boils down to their characteristics. So today I will share every characteristic of the top performers in the sales world so that you can adopt the same traits and get the same results yourself. So let's jump in to the first characteristic that I found amongst every top performer in the space: the idea of extreme ownership. Okay, so this is the foundation. Without this, nothing else matters. If they can't take full responsibility of their results, outcomes, they can't lead and grow, because if you don't take ownership, you don't have control. And if you don't have control, you can't learn. And if you can't learn, you can't improve. The best of the best top performers in high ticket sales, no matter what circumstance, no matter what offer they're on, no matter what type of prospects they're dealing with, you'll notice that they have a very, very natural, innate ability to make anything their responsibility and always find positive learnings from that so they can improve every single call, even when they lose. The number 2 character trait amongst the top performers in the sales world is congruence, or off-camera leadership. They are the example, they're the closer who tells others to face fear, commit, invest, and they understand that they must live those exact standards, okay? Because integrity is persuasion in this world. So what I mean by that is, if your prospect is giving you think about objections, if they're giving you partner objections, if they're giving you fear objections, if they're saying things are too expensive, a lot of the time sales reps don't even notice, but that is the same objection that they're giving themselves when it comes to their goals, when they're not investing in programs, when they're not investing in one-to-one support. They don't understand, but these same reasons why the prospect can't take action is the same reason they can't take action, and therefore they cannot help the prospect overcome what they need to overcome because they haven't even overcame it themselves. The top performers in the sales world understand that congruence is king. They don't think about things, they don't speak to their partner, they don't give money objections. Typically, the best salespeople are the biggest laydowns. Number 3, all actions serve the goal. And what I mean by that is all top closers have a very, very clear image of their why. Every single thing they do feeds the vision. So if they want to make 50k a month, they want to have a certain type of family, they want to live in a certain location, they want to have a certain type of physique and body, they go for it, and they understand the power of being consistent and taking aligned actions with those things every single day. Because your goal as a high ticket salesperson specifically isn't necessarily to be obsessed with sales and that's all you do every single day, but your job is to be a well-rounded human who can help other people become well-rounded humans and get the outcomes they desire as well. But without having a clear why for yourself, you won't have a very, very strong firepower internally to want to push through and do the hard things every day to get to where you want to go. So once again, similar to the last point, these people won't give themselves objections. They understand that, investing in a program is only going to increase the probability of their outcomes. So they don't do an action that doesn't align with that, which is to go and think about it. They will take action on their goals. So another character trait of the top performing salespeople is all actions serve the goal, and very rarely they go off path. Number 4 character trait that elite salespeople adopt is emotional control. So they lead from center, no overreactions, and that leads to no burnout. And they're very, very stable when other people would get in their head and fold, and that's a lot of the time why they win. And the reason that they're so good at this is usually because they're extremely self-forgiving, and they also understand that that's the game. They understand that there's no such thing as perfect in sales. They understand that there will be ebbs and flows, highs and lows. They understand all these things, so it's very easy to have strong emotional control. Another powerful way you can get better emotional control, so you're not in a rut, going on a downward spiral, getting in your head, wondering when the next close is going to come, is understanding that this is life. Understanding that as long as you're actively doing the right actions, as long as you're actively reflecting on the things that are going on so you can learn, then why are you complaining about one lost sale? I know in the grand scheme of things you would love to close them all, but that is just not a realistic reality. So you have to learn how to adopt emotional control so you don't actually get in negative states of mind. You can stay in more positive positive states of mind, and you can actually perform more consistently over longer periods of time. So 5, they act in spite of fear. So they use fear as fuel, which is something, once again, they're asking of their prospects. They don't need to feel ready. They move through resistance, and that's why they grow faster than anyone else. So what I mean by that is some people are fearful of doing role plays, but they do it anyway, and those are the ones who grow faster. Some people are fearful of investing in themselves, but these people do it anyway, and that's why they grow faster. Some people are fearful of showing up in the coaching calls and asking questions, but these people understand that helps them get the goal, so they do it anyway. Some people are fearful to get on their first offer and start taking calls, but these people are the ones who get on calls even before they're even ready, and they grow faster than everyone else. Salespeople who are elite often are very fear-seeking. They're seeking out where the fear is, where the uncomfortability is, and they go there because they understand that will build their confidence, and they understand that often the territories where fear is the territories where they will grow. And that's what leads to them making way more money, because they're doing the most uncomfortable things more than anyone else. And some people never even go to the territories that these people go to, and that's why they stay stuck. So the number 6 character trait amongst the elite salespeople in the high ticket sales world is they're detached from the outcome, yet obsessed with the process. And they know, control what you can and the rest follows. And what I mean by that is you cannot control what decision this person makes. You can only control what's in your best power, which is the process, the way you view the conversation, the word tracks, reframes you're using, the tools you're using, the times you invest in yourself. So like, you can control all these things. But some salespeople get way in their head because they can't close someone. But at the end of the day, in a sales call, it's not your responsibility to make the choice. It's your responsibility to just facilitate the best you can to help this person make a choice. The best of the best salespeople understand this ideology and concept, and they're completely okay with a prospect leaving the call or unselling a prospect who isn't aligned with the goal. If they just treat their process like iron, they will make more sales eventually. But the times in which people end up struggling is when they start veering off of their process, or they start letting the prospect bend the rules and then they take frame. But if you show up at a world-class level daily and stick with your process, and it's an iron process, you will get the outcome you want, but you have to be disciplined enough to stick with that and not care about the outcome. Number 7, mission over commission. Okay, they close hard because they care and the client feels it's authentic. Okay, and that conviction to actually care and want this person to change makes them unstoppable. This is one of the secrets of the best salespeople. Some salespeople are in sales to make money. Some salespeople are in sales because they love helping people, and the ones who love helping people are the ones who end up making way more money than the ones who love money. If you help enough people get the things that they want, you will in turn get all the things that you want. And if you're struggling with the idea of mission over commission, you need to change your perspective on how you perceive high ticket sales. At the end of the day, you're coaching someone, they're investing a lot of money into themselves, and that thing they're investing into themselves can get them a certain outcome that will have a ripple effect onto their life. Some tricks that I teach my students to actually adopt this trait very quickly is, imagine this person on the other end of the phone is your mom, is your sibling, is your relative, someone you really do care about and love. Imagine and view this person as equal to them. And it might sound weird, but when you show up to calls and start treating them like you treat those people, you will make more sales because you will treat them very differently. You won't be as abrasive, you won't be as direct and slappy with people, you won't be as willing to lie to people and let them tell themselves lies. You'll care about them, so you tell them the truth. So start to view these people in that manner and close hard because you care, not because you want their money. You'll make more money. This is something that a lot of the best sales reps do naturally and unconsciously, and a lot of the lower sales reps also do naturally and unconsciously the other way around. So now you have conscious awareness. You can either choose to stay on the path where you love money and that's all you want and that's what you care about, or you can choose to jump on the train where you actually care about people and in turn you make more money. Number 8 is brutal self-awareness, and the reason this is so powerful and important and it must be done is because 80% of influence and sales is who you are, not what you say. And the best way in which you can understand other people is to understand yourself from a high degree. So every call is reviewed, every internal belief you hold is reviewed, every thought you have is reviewed, all your emotions are reviewed, and your ego is gone. And when you can brutally self-analyze these things, like your limiting beliefs, the confidence you have, the way in which you're showing up in your day-to-day life, are you really showing up when the cameras are off? When you start to actually reflect on these and brutally self-analyze and brutally change them as well, you have a new hunger to improve and they'll evolve with intention. So the best of the best salespeople aren't just like a feather in the wind who just get blown around life without any reflection and just go forward without knowing where they're going. Salespeople who actually get to where they want to go have a very, very clear goal, a very, very clear vision of where they want to be, and they brutally self-analyze until they get there. And then they get a new goal and they do the same thing for this next goal. So you will not get to where you want to go without feedback, because without feedback, nothing will change. So you can either brutally self-analyze yourself, which you have to be doing anyway, or another fast track solution to this is you can hire a coach and they will analyze you, and not like a weird psychologist, but like they'll analyze what beliefs you're holding that aren't going to help you, what are your traits and behaviors that you're doing that aren't going to help you, what are your views on the sales that aren't going to help you, and they can help you correct them. But at the same time, you should be doing this on your own anyway, with or without a coach. So there we have it. Now you have the roadmap of the characteristics you must adopt if you want to become a 50K per month closer in this game, which is great. So next is going to be skill sets, and I have a full 11-hour course which you can pair with these characteristics with to become elite and actually make the money you want to make. So check it out now. It'll be linked here. Go and watch it.